church bells and smell the freshly baked bread. See the storefront awnings, the neon green, white, and red.
A Bronx Tale is really a coming-of-age story about a kid growing up and navigating relationships with two father figures in his life and falling in love with a girl from a different neighborhood.
I play Jane, and she falls in love with Calogero. And my side of the story is basically my friends and my family disagreeing so strongly with who I fall in love with and me not caring. And I love that about Jane. She doesn't see skin color. She doesn't see the unapproval around her in the world. She follows her heart.
I'm playing young Calogero, and I'm kind of like Sonny's apprentice in the show. I just love watching them all like do their parts up in the rehearsal studio. I like Coco Jones and Jason Gattei and Nick Rodero. They're all so amazing.
I play Rosina. I'm Calogero's mom, from the Onello family, obviously, and it's a lovely role. I love it. I feel very connected to it, and growing up in an Italian household myself, and being a mom.
What drew me to Bronx Tale was the team: Jerry Zaks, Alan Menken, Glenn Slater, Chas Palminteri, Bob De Niro, and then my producers, Michael David from the Dodgers, that I know so well from Jersey Boys, Lauren Mitchell, and Tommy Mottola. It's a dream team. So absolutely, there was no way in hell that I was not going to do this show.
It's incredible to be in this room, and I was just talking to someone else about how I feel like I'm learning so much. From Jerry Zaks, working with him is just so incredible. The way he allows us to trust the material and tell the story, because the story is so damn good.
I mean, I'm new to the Broadway world. I've done TV and film before this, but I've always wanted to see what this world was like, and it's a whole nother animal. But it's been so fun. I mean, Chaz Palminteri, Alan, Ron, everyone has put their heart in this. Jerry Zaks has put their heart in making this project legendary, and it shows every day. The show gets better and better.
Well, I'm lucky enough to play Lorenzo, Calogero's father, the role, made famous by Robert De Niro. So, big shoes to fill, but intimidating maybe a little bit, but also, I mean, such a blessing. It's like coming to a master class every day that I come to work. So, very rarely do you get the opportunity to get information from the person who actually created the role, in a situation like this. So it's been informative, and it's an honor to be trusted with those, those reins.
In the back of my head, it was always like, the wise guys, the mother, the father, the black and white story. It's got drama all around it, And I just thought, if you could take this and put it into song, and have that powerful element of just taking it up another level into a whole another animal.
Well, I always thought it would be a terrific musical, and so once the movie was done, somewhere after there, I talked to Chaz about it a year or 2, 3 years about that. He might have been thinking about it simultaneously, but I was. It just was perfect for a musical if it could be done,
In every project, there's always that one person that makes it happen. When we did the film, Robert De Niro was the one who championed it and said, hey, I'm going to make this movie happen. You'll be great as. And in the Broadway show, it was Tommy Mottola, the producer. Tommy Mottola, who produced this, he said, we're going to make this happen. And he got Michael David and Lauren Mitchell, and he said he got the Dodgers involved. And I was so excited. And I loved Alan Menken. I've always loved his music. He just writes these. He wrote about fables in some of these animation things are fables, and I said, Bronx Tale is a fable.
Well, I have a history with Chaz. I did the one-man show on Broadway. He and I in close quarters for months, rehearsing, trying, discarding, cutting, rewriting, and we came out very happy with each other. And then it began to develop as a musical. I was not involved in the very beginning, but I was invited to participate in the process. And because I've known Bob, I directed him in Marvin's Room a million years ago, we worked out a way of approaching the material so that, we could do this together.
And I just think that Alan Menken is just an absolute genius, and he can do no wrong. I mean, in terms of melodies, there's nobody else who can write melodies like him, and especially in this period. I mean, he's like back to his Little Shop of Horrors days. So the score is buoyant. It's got great layers. It's deep. It's rooted in truth.
We started experimenting, as I remember, like with a few musicians and talking and having actors read parts and playing, and then with Ron Shelton we were working on music and this, and then feeling our way around, trying to see what it was, or what we were doing. Was it a hybrid of the movie and a regular traditional musical? We didn't quite know, or are we stuck too much in the movie idea? We've got to get away from that. We didn't want it to be the movie. It's a separate thing, but we weren't really sure how to do it. And then we started talking about other people, and Chaz had worked with Alan Menken on something.
Chaz Palminteri, as a fan, and I'm a fan of his, and I'm a friend of his. I scored a movie of his about over 10 years ago, and I loved working with him, and I love the grit of the story. And then when Tommy Mottola came and said, I think you should do this, and the score should be these homages to these pop styles of the early 60s and mid-60s, that was so, something I was dying to return to. It's like take me back to when I did Little Shop of Horrors.
When they called me and said, would you be interested? I watched the movie, and immediately a couple things. First, such rich territory musically. The Bronx at that time had doo-wop music, and you had the sort of sounds of Sinatra and Dean Martin and Bobby Darin for the slightly older generation. You had Motown coming in. You had rhythm and blues. You had so much great music. And being able to capture a world in those musical styles and the way they all intersected with each other just felt like a really exciting possibility.
And then, of course, Glenn came aboard, and there was this great combination of these guys who are new to musicals, who are like cynical about musicals, and those of us who are experienced with it. And it's just been this combination of talents that has proved to be successful, and we're still deep in the trenches working on it, and fingers crossed we're creating something unique and beautiful.